Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks. This time we're watching a DL241199 play in his KV-5. This is the Tier 8 Premium Soviet heavy tank, and it's not available in the gift shop outside of special occasions. It's probably available on average once every 3 to 6 months, so you can pick it up a few times a year. Possibly this Christmas, but I don't know that for certain. Now it costs 7,500 gold, which is very surprising. It's quite cheap for a Tier 8 premium heavy tank. And that's because outside of its high hit points, outside of its very thick armor, its armor's very flat, and it also has some gaping weak points on the vehicle at the front. These are easily penetrated by most Tier 6 tanks, let alone that's up to Tier 9 that this tank can meet. But it does have preferential matchmaking, which means that at least it can never meet any Tier 10s. Now, if you thought that that was enough, this tank also has probably the worst gun on any of the Tier 8 premium heavy tanks. It has 107mm with only 167mm of penetration with its standard rounds and 219 with its premium rounds. And also the worst alpha damage outside of the FCM50T, which is more of a heavy medium, of 300. But its rate of fire can kind of make up for that. One thing that's interesting about this vehicle is that it does fire faster than, for example, the T-34, the IS-6, or the 112, which allows it to trade quite effectively, putting in 2 shots for every shot it receives. Now, DL just took a shot in the side from an IS. He's going to return the favor. He puts in a great tracking shot there, and through a tiny slit of a gap, a second shot into the side of the IS-3, which either forces him to use the repair kit, or he had a good repair crew on that tank. So the enemy's sneaky tank destroyers have finally made an appearance. There was a Nashorn and a Sturemil that were putting pressure on him earlier. Now DL makes a lot of use of the third person, but when he finally uses sniper mode, he puts in a great precision shot, taking out that Tier 6 German tank destroyer. Now the T-34 ignores the IS-3 that would have been almost a certain kill for him and shoots DL instead. It's the IS-3's lucky day, and manages to withdraw behind DL. Now you're seeing him side scrape here and angle the side armor of his tank, which means that the T-29 cannot see the weak points on the front of his vehicle, i.e. here, the radio man position. He can only see his side armor, which is very thick, and when angled, very, very strong indeed. The T-29 comes around the corner and only manages to get a shot into his turret. DL's trying to look for that Sturemil. He decides it's time to press forwards. His team are massively behind, 5 tanks behind right now. He puts in a great shot into the T-34, bounces the T-29, and sneaks a shot over the hull of the T-29 to finish off the T-34. Now he fires clutch while reversing at the Sturemil, finishes him off, and moves around the corner to pressure this Tier 7 American heavy tank, T-29. The T-29 finally puts in a penetrating shot, but it's too little, too late, as DL takes him out the game. And then that IS that he briefly exchanged shots with earlier finally gets his comeuppance. What a turnaround! It went from being a game where he was 5 tanks behind, and after 4 quick kills, his team are now dead even. Great push through there, showing you just how resilient this vehicle is. But this game is not over. There's a Super Pershing in the enemy cap that has got very respectable stats and 51,000 games played. I thought I played a lot of World of Tanks, and that guy's played twice as much as me. Amazing. And we're about to have a Cold War here. It's going to be the Soviets versus the Americans. This Soviet Tier 8 premium heavy tank, the KV-5 is going to be going up against a Super Pershing. Although the Super Pershing has a bit of an advantage at the moment, health-wise, but after a penetrating shot, it's almost dead even. The Super Pershing puts in a shot into the top of the tank, I believe up here, taking out the loader. Now the artillery slams a shot into the back of DL, reducing his health by a lot. But a nice bit of side scraping there and a bounce with a penetrating shot on the Super Pershing puts him within a couple of shots of death. And this is quite tense. DL puts in a great shot into the side there, setting the Super Pershing on fire, who had already used his fire extinguisher or was just too slow on the trigger to put that fire out. 1-0 to Russia there. Taking out the Super Pershing in base. Now he has to deal with a KV-3, a Tier 7 Soviet heavy tank, and a lovely bit of side scraping here. Allows DL to hide most of his weak points. Well, in fact, all of his weak points, and only expose very thick, well-angled side armor. Brilliant play there. And again, bounces the T-34, a tank with probably the highest penetration on any of the Tier 8 premium tanks, with ease, and puts in a shot tracking him. Bounces him again, tracks him once more, and knowing that his reload is better than the T-34, he's able to put in a shot into his side and finish him off, securing his 8th kill of the game and 5,200 damage. What a turnaround, a complete carry of this game. And he's still got 2 more tanks, well, self-propelled guns left to kill. And they're not small. He's got Tier 6 SPGs to deal with. And considering that he's on such low health, it's pretty much sudden death here. DL decides that it's time to take the fight to the enemy. And he'd be right to do so. When I'm playing against artillery, I always like to have buildings and corners to not be caught out in the open, and this is a very ugly position for him. He fires clutch at the Hummel, unable to hit, and decides to advance towards him, trying to get out of the open square where the AMX-13 F3 might be ready to drop a bomb on him. But we know where that bomb's going to come from now. The AMX has revealed his position and decided to put pressure up on the cap. DL is going hunting for the Hummel. He wants to remove this one so he can go one-on-one with the people in base. Well, the SPG in base. A shot into the back of the Hummel there, but it is a low roll. He had a 50-50 chance of taking the Hummel out in one shot. And the amazing heavy armor on the KV-5 weathers a shot from the Hummel, only losing about 70 hit points there. The shot went into the tracks, which absorbed most of the damage, and the heavy all-round nature of the KV-5 just took a beating. That Hummel got pretty lucky there to survive the initial shot. It was a 50-50. But then after that, DL got lucky that he didn't have the artillery splash over a weaker part of his tank where it would have finished him off. And now he needs to race into base. He's got 30 seconds left to find the enemy artillery. Where's he going to be hiding? It's very tense. This is for a Pools medal. Oh god, he misses! Oh, the AMX misses as well! And he puts a final shot into the back of the Tier 6 French artillery, removing him from the game and securing the victory for his team. What a fantastic result for DL here. He defended the base not once, but twice, dealing with some stiff opposition, and he was severely outnumbered at the end of the game. Not quite enough to take down a Kolobanov's medal, but very close. I think it was 4 versus 1. We saw that the KV-5 is practically indestructible, outside of a few weak points on the vehicle. But with the excellent side scraping that DL showed here, we can tell exactly how to make the most of its armor. DL, thank you so much for this replay. It was really exciting. And I have to admit that your side scraping in the KV-5 is a hell of a lot better than mine. And watching this replay made me want to go get back into this Tier 8 Soviet behemoth and give it a go for myself. And I might be doing so on my live stream tonight. DL truly was the hero of the Soviet Union here. He picked up, unsurprisingly, a steel wall, a defender medal, high caliber, and a pools medal for vanquishing 10 of the enemy team. This was over 2,000 base experience for his 6,000 damage. He fired 33, of which 30 hit and 25 penetrated. He blocked 4,270 damage with his armor, giving him a potential damage received of over 5,500. He was a one-man army and did absolutely no supporting this game, but defended his base valiantly, gaining 171 defender points. Even without a premium account, this game was 53,000 credits profit. And if he had had a premium account, even though he fired some APCR rounds at the end, he would have made over 106k, showing you the earning potential of the KV-5. Again, DL, thank you so much for sending me this replay. I really enjoyed it, and hopefully you guys did as well. If you did, please consider giving the video a like down below. I'd really appreciate it, and it helps the channel out immensely. And if this video has left you hungry for more KV-5 derping, then click up here, and you can see some reverse ass mastery side scraping in the KV-5. And don't forget to let me know in the comments below what you think of the KV-5. Do you see them as a juicy snack on the battlefield and you can pinpoint those weak points? Or are you a KV-5 driver who has mastered hiding them like DL? I personally think it's probably a bit of both. I think a really good KV-5 driver can have an immense impact on the battlefield, and I think that a real bad one can feed a lot of damage to his opponents with that gargantuan hit point pool. Anyway guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.